So, hi, I'm Lakshmi and the founder of Everyone Who Codes. And here I have, along with me, Everyone Who Codes co hosts who are mentors from top tech companies around the globe. So, today we are going to be discussing how software engineers are here to stay in the AI era. I am excited to welcome Chetan, a software engineer from Microsoft, who is a mentor with Everyone Who Codes. Chetan, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hey all, so I am Chetan. Currently, I'm working as a software engineer too at Microsoft. I have around like more than 6 or 7 years of experience. And like the past couple of years, I have been mentoring multiple students and like interacting with a lot of college students. So yeah, like it's pretty good to like know and like help people and mentor people out there.
Thanks, Chetan, for your intro. Today, we will be exploring how software engineering is transforming into the AI era, and that software engineers' roles are not disappearing, but here to stay. So, we all know, Chetan, we all know AI in today's tech world is reshaping roles where AI can write code for us. Okay. GitHub Copilot can fix bugs. Layoffs are hitting hard every week with thousands of software engineers getting laid off. And the bar for hiring is also going higher than ever. Job security in this market is definitely a question mark, right? Nowadays, I hear that software engineers need to prepare to wear multiple hats to be successful. Okay. So, what are your thoughts about this market and how is AI going to play in the software engineering space? Um, because AI will not be replacing coding jobs.
Yeah, if you look at the previous history of like how any technical new tech domain starts completely and like it completely changes how people used to earlier work. If you look at the example of earlier, like a lot of manual work used to be there, then that time we got into the web transformation, web came in, like a lot of new things started. And I think like we are in the same transformation right now, and it is going to change how we are going to work. So if you look at like earlier, like we used to write a lot of codes. Now it's more about less code, more about the business logic, more about the like why it something needs to be there, what more about the product than just about the engineering. So obviously like this thing is like transforming things, and it is like creating like it like, right now it might even we might can see like a lot of the weeks of work can be done in like one single day, or like say like 5 engineers of work can be done by one single engineer. So this is the transformation that is right now happening. But along with this, how this is helping the engineers to like quickly develop things, quickly write code, but also like it is like the same time like it is creating a lot of more opportunities. So if you look at the previous trends, like earlier, right, there were only software engineers who used to write the code. Okay. And few people used to write the code, few people used to build pipelines, few people used to fix the bugs. Right now, and like there then came the no code platforms, like where the people can write, or no code or low code platforms where people can write very low code. So in that era, like what happened, like the lot of product managers or the people with a very little technical domain, they started creating the apps. Now, so like if you look at the number of people, right, the number of people who are developing or creating products, that increased. So the people who were earlier only with a software expertise used to create a product, then with the low code or no code platform, the people with little knowledge of tech, they started creating products. Now if you look at the time in the like era of like Lovable, Cloud, Sonnet, where the software entirely can write the code or like build complete app with just a natural language, that has changed completely like who can build a products now. So like in nutshell, if you look at like from the people who already knew, or like who were expert in the software engineering, they used to create apps. Then the people with very little knowledge of software engineering, they started creating apps. Now the people with the no knowledge of software engineering, they are creating the apps of building the products. So if you look at the like number of products that are getting built, or the number of people who are building it, they are increasing. So like So like if the new product is getting built, new people will be like needed to like maintain that product. So like still we are not in the era like everything that we can rely on like the product that are built by the Lovable or like Cloud is on it or like GPT-5. Still we need like a lot of times like human intervention. Like still like the AI lacks in like bridging a lot of different components into the one single component or like completely workable product. So like that's what I feel is that like still like we are not in the phase of like where like completely like agents or like completely one single person can end to end create a productionable like production ready apps or like and release it and like actual customers can completely use it. Yeah, definitely you can create like prototypes, you can create a POCs or like small scale level products, but not with the, like the products which millions or like millions of people can use it. So definitely, like, so right now, if you want to think of like this AI, so it is basically not something like that completely like is going to replace you, but you can use it as a co-pilot to enhance your productivity and like go faster in any work you are doing or any product you are building. Yeah, that's how I look at it, the AI currently.
Okay, got it. So, I think I can summarize it. What you mean to say is like AI is transforming software engineering roles. Basically, you need to be more AI qualified to do software engineering roles, right? So that is the need we need at this point of time, that you do add AI qualification to your role so that you can add in your value to this as a software engineer. Okay, because AI cannot do your work, everything. It definitely needs human input. And that is where we play a very, very important role. Yes. Okay. Thank you for answering this in detail, Chetan. Okay, so as we have covered that companies do need software engineers or junior engineers, right? Despite AI taking over jobs. So, Chetan, how can our listeners or noobs, computer science graduates, or software engineers who are navigating layoffs, or software engineers who are aiming to join top tech companies, stay relevant and stand out in this challenging market?
Okay. So like right now, like you must have seen, like we can have like end-to-end working products or prototypes. We can write that code in any language. Okay. Like we don't need to worry about the syntax or we don't need to worry about like a lot of details. So right now, I feel that the ability of the students or the engineers to solve the problems is going to be very crucial right now. So earlier there used to be like quite a lot of noise around that. Hey, like GPT can solve like a lot of data set algorithm problems. Okay, why do we need a DSA anymore? Okay, but if you look at right, like even the Chat GPT, like it is basically a these are like generative models which are like very good at understanding what you are asking, like getting the relevant context around it and like writing code around it. Like so basically, right, I feel like right now, like this solving ability is going to be really, really crucial. Okay, because already, right, like if you look at the like right now, the right now a lot of tools like Copilot, a lot of they can write the like junior engineer level code right now. Okay, so how do you identify? How do you judge the candidate or like any incoming student, or how do you judge the any new the person you're interviewing? So I feel right now, right, like even though like you can see that like a lot of GPT can solve like a lot of data structure algorithms question, but still like the candidate need to be judged very primarily focused on the problem solving ability itself. So that is going to be very, very crucial. So like again, like so I will still like feel is that like mastering the data structure and algorithms is going to be really, really important. And like the how the interviews we are used to get conducted earlier and how those will be used to be how those will be like conducted in future, that might change. But the but the judging the candidates problem solving ability, that is going to be very, very crucial going ahead. So that's what like so mastering DSA is going to be again stick with us, and like we definitely need to work on that. So I will just again suggest to candidates or like who are preparing for the software engineering to strongly focus on the problem solving abilities. Okay, so one part of it is like solving the data structure problems. There might be other parts of it and which might evolve going ahead in the future. Like looking at the current scenario of like a lot of problems can be solved by the these tools. But yeah, like again, this is going to be very crucial. Now coming back to the the second point of like importance of system design. If you look at right now, right, the tools available in the market, they are really good on writing small features or like building like simple apps. But but it fails when it needs to understand like or like on building like complex projects where like there is a like very strong need of system design, because we can't give complete context to the like current available tools about like hey like how to optimize for the latency, how to optimize particular feature, how should we use, let's say like how should we like go for the use caching or the different strategies on the caching. The learning of system design and like understanding the internal working of a lot of things is going to be very crucial, because even though like we can like the current tools can like a lot of boilerplate code and a lot of like invent POCs, but building large systems which can be used by millions of users still like bringing a lot of different components into one place and joining it together to build a complete end-to-end system, that still like is needs that still needs the like a really good software engineers who have like very strong understanding of system design. Yeah, so those are the 2 points that I think like one like were very crucial and very important points. Okay. Also, like one thing that is going to be like is that what are the values or what are the strengths that you can add apart from like current available tools. Okay, so like basically right like the importance of the communication skills, like how you articulate different requirements, how you articulate like importance of different features, how you can like define like hey if is this something really needed or not, or is this like just like not needed or users are not going to like it. So this understanding of like this understanding and like having these strong communication skills to like communicate with these stakeholders or communicate with the tools is also really important. So like if you like look at the like prompt engineering, like that is again a like prompt that is again a like going to be like really important. And also like I feel like it is very strongly correlated with the strong communication skills. The person who can communicate better can like communicate better, like can communicate better, like who is going to like write a better prompts and understand requirements clearly and communicate the requirements with the other stakeholders or with the tools is going to be really important. Another thing that like so like how do we start, like a lot of if you see right lot now the job of a 4 or 5 person can be done by a single person in a short period of time. So how, let's say like how like so obviously I feel like even though the more number of like even though like the more number of people will be using softwares, more number of companies going to get created. So we feel like the need for the more number of engineers it might increase as well. But along with that, like the question is that in the pool of lot of people, how does one can stand? Can one can be distinguished? So for that, I think having a strong resume, having a very strong LinkedIn profile is going to be like key there. So a lot of people, what they do is that like a lot of people build a lot of projects, but they fail to publish the projects. They fail to like complete the actual user usable projects. They create like kind of a clones. Okay, they don't add these kind of clones. Don't add real values to any actual users or can't be used by any actual users. So if you're building any strong portfolio or like any projects, understand is this a something that at least few people can use it? Is this solving real problem of any users? And I will suggest the people to like stick with the those kind of projects which can actually use by the any outside users. So but also like it's not just about the building, like publishing your projects. Okay, make publishing your project like if you are building some mobile app, publish it on Play Store, let the actual users use, and like that shows like your complete ownership and end-to-end execution of what you are something building. So that is really going to stand out in going ahead. Yeah, these are the like important points, like, and I think like the people should like go and work on these things, like problem solving really important, system design going to be way more important than what earlier it used to be, and like bringing own strength, like the values that can't be like provided by like any tools right now. Okay, and showing what you are building, so that is going to be like really important. Yeah.
Right. So basically, to be visible, right, at this point of time,
Correct.
you need to be visible out there. Yes, in this market. Yes. So yeah, I know when you talked about companies are definitely looking for more skills, right, at this point of time. Someone, it's just not like you're building systems or you're using, you're working with millions of users, but you should be able to also be able to communicate better, because that is definitely which is very important. At the same time, you should be able to write better prompts, right? Collaborate better with the team, as well as should have more skills about system design, right? And be, have ownership and, while building systems, that is definitely critical. At the same time, you need to be visible, right? Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And of course, I always say, if you are not getting interview calls, I think that is where the resume is, where there is something, maybe you're not added, uh, it needs to be refined, or maybe you don't have a good, strong LinkedIn presence. That is, I always add those things. Yes. Thanks for sharing those details, Chetan. Okay. So now let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So this is something which is very, very important. And most of the software engineers, they do reach out to me asking, advice on these path, like, what do they need to choose? Like, whether they need to choose tech careers either with startups or the FAANG companies, or tier 2 or tier 3 companies. So what is the differentiation? Could you share your insights and experience?
There are multiple dimensions of looking at these startups or FANG companies or tier two, tier three companies. So one strong dimension that I can think about is the learning curve. Okay, that is like pretty different at every like startups or FANG or like tier two, tier three companies. Another dimension to it is about like work life balance, or like it is again the compensation, and so it depends on a lot of factors, and it is like depends on the candidates, a lot of candidates, how they'll want to how they see themselves in coming few years. So if I'm, let's say, like if I want to, like if I'm early in my career, and let's say like if I don't want to worry about like a lot of other factors like work life balance or like something, definitely one should go for the startups, like looking at the steep curve. Okay. And I like feel in future, right, I feel like the number of startups are going to explode, like considering that the how quickly like a lot of products, a lot of products can be built and like shipped to the end users. So definitely, like if you're looking at the like a lot of experimentation, a lot of movement, and a lot of big learning curve, definitely startup is the workplace here. But like if you are like if somebody is like really interested in like solving, let's say, like a very uh, big problems that are faced by the millions of users, or like the systems that are like right now serving to the millions of users, and so if somebody gets interested in working on those kind of system, then FANG is the right place for those people. So like here also, like I think like a lot of banks are right now moving into the culture of like build fast, ship fast. So earlier the perception used to be of that, like okay, banks are like pretty chill place or like pretty relaxing, but that is going to slowly change, because there is a lot of competition right now in different companies. Every company wants to be like be there first and like build fast and like move fast in the race. So going ahead, I think that the narrative is going to change, and I think people can find like really good and like quick pace at the farm companies as well. And like tier two, tier three companies, you can find the like middle ground between these two. But like if you're looking at somebody's looking at like in nutshell, like if somebody's looking at like very fast and like very dynamic things or dynamic learning, dynamic work culture, like startup is the place for them. The people who like love thrill or like speed and like actually love building like really fast products. Yeah. Now looking at the compensation, I think like we already know like a lot of FANG companies pays really well. Then comes the like tier two, tier three companies, and then comes the startups. But somebody's into like really uh, really like loves some building something or like shipping fast, and they also like have like really good appetite for the new things and appetite for the risk. Startups is the is the place, because it comes with the like little bit somewhat risk but the great rewards, if you look at like equity and all those things. So yeah, like I think like going ahead, like there are a lot of factors one need to consider by looking at this company.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So thank you for sharing the difference in between, startups, FANG, and tier 2 and tier 3 companies, and answering these questions. So let's move on to finding. to the next one. So this is basically about job search. Yeah. So I do get a lot of questions. How do I go about job search? Because I don't land up interviews, and how do I go about networking? Because this is the end thing at this point of time. Unless you don't network well, the opportunities are not going to surface, right? That's how it is. You will not be able to reach out to hiring managers. So, I'll try to answer this, and maybe you can, later you can share your points too. So I do see that jobs are available. They are there. There are thousands of jobs, or across. But are they real, or are the companies really hiring? So that's the main problem we need to find. So here is what we need to use LinkedIn strategically by reaching out to recruiters and hiring managers. So my suggestion always would be to check the company's career page and apply roles directly there. Okay. And I also see hiring managers and recruiting teams post jobs on LinkedIn. So that is definitely the best way to apply to those jobs immediately, and it within the first few hours, or maybe the first 1 or 2 days, because of the huge demand for software engineering roles right now. Okay. And I would definitely recommend to target at least 20-25 companies every day and apply for their jobs on their career website. Then check out their pages on LinkedIn, find the recruiters and hiring managers, and definitely reach out to them with a short and concise message like saying, I'm interested and I've applied to this role, and share what value you bring to the company. Of course, make the messages very impressive, because that is what takes, depending upon the experience that you have and the response from them. Generally, I would request you to wait for a couple of days before they revert back. And if they don't hear from them, go ahead and send a short reminder again. Okay, so there are more chances they will respond if your profile matches with the role that you've applied. Always, I would say, keep refining your LinkedIn profile, because hiring managers and recruiters always look up your headline, summary, skills, and the projects to check your experience. So don't miss out filling on those details. Keep it complete. Okay, regarding networking on LinkedIn, I would say that is the best way to get missing opportunities, jobs, by which you can use if you use it strategically. Okay, so how do you go about networking on LinkedIn? So I would say, firstly, is do follow engineering leaders and recruiters on LinkedIn, and comment thoughtfully on their post. Okay. And I usually like to, would want you to share certain solid content, tech content, and important projects that you have built. That definitely gives the visibility, because other engineering managers or recruiters definitely view your projects or your post, and they would reach out to you if they find your experience matching to the roles that they have. Okay. And then, of course, you need to be connecting with recruiters with a purpose, not like just saying a hi or a random message, spamming them. Because I think you should definitely share meaningful messages, sharing your skills and why you're the best fit for this role. Also, you can ask for referrals to by being strategic in this space, by writing a good message or a good template. Okay, like, basically, thanks for accepting my connection, and I do see a role in your team, and I'm interested in this role. I've already gone ahead and applied in the career website, and would you be interested in referring me? Okay, and my background is so and so, and it definitely matches with the role's requirements. And keep it very concise, and trying and say, and then definitely uh, let them know that you're happy to share your resume or additional information, and thank you. Okay, so you can wait for a few more days and always follow up, but do it respectfully, and if they do not respond back, with a referral request, it's okay. Send them a reminder. That's fine. You can always circle back, but that's okay. But don't keep spamming hiring managers or recruiters, I would say. Okay. And always, whenever you're reaching out to hiring managers and recruiters, always highlight why you are very the best match, best fit software engineer for this role. Like, be very specific about your skills that match, and always share your resume. Okay, so that they are able to see your experience and expertise, which matches with the job requirement that they have. Okay, and at the end of it, I would say be consistent and patient, because networking is not an overnight thing which will happen. It's definitely an investment. You need to be showing up regularly. You need to be sharing content. You need to be sharing insights, commenting, on thought leaders' post, and definitely working with connections. So I'm sure over week, over months, definitely pay off, but it definitely needs patience and consistency. Okay. I think I'll stop here. Do you want to add some points here, Chetan?
No, like I think like you covered everything. So basically like being consistent and like being visible is going to be going
Mm-hmm.
to be important. Yeah.
Yes, that is true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So now these are some of the questions that we got from the engineers, from our attendees. And this are, of course, one of the some of the popular questions in 2025. Okay. So I would definitely would want you to answer the first question, like, are startups a better place to begin an AI career than large tech companies? I know you did answer them, but do you want to add a few more points? We are open to listen.
So it all depends on the kind of startup the startup you'll be working. Let's say like if you are working on very AI focused startup, which is actually like working on foundational models or like which is actually building some new models, then I think that is a definitely really good place to work on. But if you're working at a startup which is just consuming the AI models or AI models built by some other company, then you will be just like working as a software engineer. You won't be working as an AI engineer there. So it depends on the type of startup we'll be working on. Definitely, like startups add learn like a lot of learning curve, but it also comes down to like what product you are building, what kind of work the startup is doing. Yeah, so like if you're really interested in like and the research part of on research in AI and like really wanted to work on that, then definitely large tech companies are the place where like you can work on like research in AI or building like a lot of foundational working on a lot of foundational work in AI.
Okay, okay, fine. Yes, thanks for answering that question. Okay, and then the next one would be, I'm trying from January 2024, but till now I didn't get the job. So this question is quite abrupt, because we don't know whether they did get an interview call, or they got rejected at the initial stage itself, right? After a screening call, or whether they did not clear interview. So it's a kind of an abrupt, but then I would say uh, at this point of time, your LinkedIn profile and resume are definitely very critical for anyone who's looking for a job in this market. You need to keep it complete, and should be able to share quantifiable, metrics in terms of your skills and expertise that you bring to the table. Because, and it's always necessary to be get that refined every few days or every few weeks. You keep adding new skills whenever you're upskilling to your LinkedIn profile or resume. And in for resumes, I would definitely expect you to go ahead and watch my earlier podcast on my YouTube channel, where we have covered resumes, and you should definitely go ahead and watch them. And they would be there are other engineering experts who have shared their insights, and how do you go about making a better resume which stands out in this market. Okay, and resumes and LinkedIn are digital footprints which will support your job search journey. So if you're not getting interview call, you need to definitely refine or redo this your resume to get interviews. And as I said, I'm not sure where the challenge is, whether are you going to the interview stage or are you getting a screening call, so or clearing interviews. So we definitely need to discuss, connect. We need to discuss, connect offline to discuss further, and we can certainly help you to speed up the process. Okay. Anything added by you, Chetan? Would you like to add anything?
No, this looks good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So then the next question is like how to get an interview call. Okay. I think I can answer. Uh, I feel generally, as I said, I mentioned about resume and LinkedIn. That is definitely the main emphasis at this point of time. You need to keep it very, very relevant, and you need to keep upskilling, and definitely the keywords of what is added to the job description. They should be definitely added to your resume or LinkedIn profile. Okay, and whenever you're applying to any jobs. It should be very close to matching 70 to 75% of the job description or the job requirement that the hiring teams have. And you should then go ahead and apply to those jobs. So, for example, please do not apply for software engineering jobs which need 4+ years of experience, but you just have 1 or 2 years of experience. That may not match unless until you have those skills they're looking for. Okay, because there is more chances that you may be rejected here. So I think it is a mix of a lot of things, whether you're applying to the right role and whether you have the right skills when you're applying to the role. So you're also, I think we may have to need to connect offline to discuss further, and we can certainly help you to, speed up this process. Anything from your side, Chetan, to
Yeah, I think like you covered all the points, Lakshmi. Yeah.
okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So then, yes, the last one I would want you to talk about, like how many pages should a resume look like while applying for internships or full time?
Okay. So like definitely, I feel that the number of pages of resume definitely it should be one single page. Like I have like seen the resume of people graduating out of college and also the people with like around 12 years of experience. The people with the 12 years of experience, they also like seen like they also use the one single page. So definitely, like if people with this like this many number of years of experience can like compress whatever they have worked on and highlight the only the important parts that are relevant to the job opportunity, and they can like wrap up that in a one single page. Definitely, the people applying for internship or full time, they can also wrap up that. So it is definitely one single page because like if any person is looking at your resume, they must have got already thousands of resume. They can't spend any like they can't spend more time on your resume looking at your resume. It will be always a quick glance. Most of the time, it is going to be the ATS. Also, like for that, like your resume should be like very ATS friendly. Okay, and it should have like keywords that particular job posting has posted. Okay, it should highlight your like technical expertise in that particular project you have worked. It should also like highlight the impact your work has created. So these are the things that one needs to have in a resume, and definitely like it shouldn't be very lengthy resume. For a lot of tech jobs, like your hobbies, your like co-curricular activities is not going to add any more value, so people shouldn't like fill their page with these kind of things, or like so that like or increase the length of the resume. So definitely keep resume very relevant, highlighting important parts, highlighting like your tech expertise, and highlighting the impact your work has done, and showing the like any like adding like your working prototypes or like links to the like published projects. That is also going to like help people like help the reviewer identify your strengths, identify your technical expertise. Yeah, so that's I think like yeah, why it should be a one single page.
Yes, yes. So I definitely agree to that. I've been a tech recruiter for 8+ years, and having worked with big tech companies. What we do is like we just take 6 seconds, 6 to 8 seconds to review a resume. So if you don't find those things in the summary section or the certain keywords that we're looking for, we move. we reject and we move on to the next one. And great that you did mention about ATS. Yes. So ATS is something yes, those keywords are very, very important, because if your ATS is not is rejecting your resume, that means there is something which is not information is not shared. And there are certain knockout questions which ATSs help in shortlisting resumes for recruiters. So always use the right keywords, the impact that you've created, the value that you get to the table. So all those things definitely has to be mentioned, in terms of the skills that you get for the role. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Chetan. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Yes. So Chetan, what's one thing advice that you would like to share? Software engineers at different level should do there in their job search process, so that could change, in someone's career trajectory. Maybe something like a 90-day plan or something. If you can share from your experience, your career journey would be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Like dedicated, 90 days is enough to crack, like enough to clear your interviews in any domain that you're already working on. So let's say like if you are into the software engineering as a backend engineer, 90 days is enough. Or if you're in like mobile development, if you're an AI engineer, 90 days is enough to get started and complete end to end complete the preparation for an interview. So in this, there will be like 4 or 5 pillars that will be coming. First one is going to be definitely like it is going to stay with us is the problem solving one. Second one is going to be system design. So like if you look at the system design, third one is basically when it's some lot of times there will be a machine coding round. So like technical domain that you will be entering for, like having the good understanding that is also really important. Then there is a mock interview preparation. Then there is a resume, and then like reaching out to networking and all those things will come into the last part. So if you ask me like, hey, how can I wrap this up in 90 days, I can suggest you is that let's say like parallelly every day like solving some problems to develop a problem solving skills. I'm talking about the like data structure and algorithm problems, like so solving let's say like 150 or 180 problems, that is more than enough for anyone to like crack the problem solving rounds or DSA rounds. So if you take off let's say 2 3 problems every day, so you definitely is going to like cover all of these in a 90 days. So if you talk about 2 3 problems, that's hardly going to be like 1.5 or 2 hours of everyday work. And like also it's not just about the number of problems, what kind of problems you're solving, that is also important. And the problems you face difficulty with, the problems that you had to spend a lot of time, so those kind of problems one need to revise on weekly or like bi-weekly basis to like keep those things sharp or like algorithms sharp in your mind. Now coming back to system design, like one can follow like standard books and like or like someone's simple standard course on the system design. And 90 days is enough to cover that week, spending every day like an hour or something like that, so that is more than enough. And now like covering on the machine coding ground, which will be very domain specific. So one can practice for that domain specific ground by building some of the like some projects. And if you're a completely beginner, like definitely you should have good projects in your resume and also in a portfolio to show to the recruiters or like get shortlisted. So for that, I suggest a lot of people to build the projects that can actually add some real values. Okay, right now, like if you look at like a lot of tools are there to like create projects. So if you're just going with the clones of the existing projects, these tools can build in few hours. So like actually understanding real life problems, gathering the user perspective, like understanding the user perspective, gathering the requirements, and actually solving that problems is going to be really important. Because like how if I'm a recruiter, how would I understand like if the project that you have built is built by you or is it just a clone developed by some tool? So that's where the building just clone projects or like just to do apps or just like simple backends, crude up backends doing the crude operation is not going to help you. Now building like bit complex projects, like the projects which require which are like multi-module projects like covering multiple features and building that from end to end, and like that is going to distinguish you from a lot of other people here. So definitely like 90 days, like daily 1 2 3 problems on DSA, an hour of, let's say, system design and an hour of machine coding ground is like enough to uh, like prepare for any interview in a 90 days. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, for sharing. And
One more point forgot to mention is that there are a lot of things for the people to do. Like right now, like if you look at, like there are 4 or 5 things one need to do. So one thing that definitely can add a lot of value is that, like, mock interviews and mentorship. So I can like remember from my previous experience, like I prepared really well, but like when I actually happened in the interview, right, a lot of mistakes I made. If I could have done like a little bit of mock interviews, it could have like really helped me, and that's why I realized that, like, the importance of having mock interviews. And another thing is that a lot of people, they start on, but going ahead few weeks, few days, their pace, their like progress stops, and they lose their focus. So that's where I think, like, having a mentor to guide you and timely keep checks on like your progress, kindly help you on your can help you with your like journey. That is going to add a lot of value to you, the people who are preparing for the interviews. So yeah, so I think, like, these are the points. I think, like, that's are enough for the 90 days preparation or 90-day plan.
yeah, yes, yes. Could you also talk about, like, you did talk about mock interviews, right? And then there are so many AI apps, right? AI mock interview. Like, could you differentiate what is better? Like, a human mock interview is definitely better than an AI mock, right? What is the difference between, like, maybe in one or two lines would be fine, and which is
So
preferable?
like so our the actual interviews that we will be having with will be with the actual humans. Okay.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
like looking at the actual interviews, like there will be a lot of human inputs. There will be a lot of communication or conversation that will be going on. A lot of times by from the interview, you can understand what direction interviewer wants to go in. These all things that won't be there in the like automated tools or like interview tools. So definitely, having the actual interviewer who can take complete feedback, look at how you're progressing with your problem, how you're tackling with the problem, how you're thinking, and give actual feedback to you, not just a summary of the text conversation that happened in the automated interviews. So this actual feedback is going to be like really helpful to the people who will be are paying for the interviews. So definitely, like the interview with the human interviewer is like very big. It will be a very big people help for the people who are preparing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. That's great. Yeah, to, say the difference between AI and human mocks. Yeah, definitely human mock is much more preferable, like, in terms of the actual insights, and you can share all information where you stand, what are the feedback, and where you can do better, right? Yes, perfect. And then, of course, thank you for sharing those 90 days. Yes, I know when I talk to engineers, I have some of them, they got jobs in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. Like, some of them did get jobs in 2 months and some in 3 months. So I think it also depends upon how fast you're speeding up the hiring job search process, I would say. Yes. So it all depends on you, software engineers, because ultimately the preparation, we can guide you, we can mentor you, we can help you with mock, but the end result is, like, the putting the efforts, the hard work is definitely on the software engineers, right? When they are looking out for jobs. And but 90 days would be definitely the best um, time period, like a plan to find jobs for a FAANG company, because it's difficult to find, difficult to clear interviews which need a lot of skills and preparation over a period of time. Okay. So thank you, Chetan, for emphasizing about this, and thank you for sharing your journey too. Okay. So I think we are to the end of the webinar today. So, so thank you to everyone for joining us, and you are welcome to connect with us on our free newsletter on Substack and LinkedIn, as well as our YouTube channel and LinkedIn profile. So we are on LinkedIn, like Chetan is on LinkedIn. You can connect with Chetan and myself, Lakshmi Marikumar, there. So thank you again, Chetan, for joining this webinar and sharing your valuable experience and insights. to help software engineers to figure out and stand out better in this emerging AI phase. Do you want to add one more something now, or you're fine?
I think like this is an exciting time. Like a lot of opportunities, like a lot of things, a lot of tools, a lot of things are like changing, and like we are in the transformative phase. I think so. The people who are going to be focused and keep on like working or like keep on focusing on the things that are going to be important. I think like those will find the right jobs, and like those will be like will be there. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, thank you. I know AI is transforming software engineering, but it is definitely not going to replace software engineers. And there is definitely a demand for software engineers at this point of time. We just need to be AI qualified, so that our resumes are picked up by the hiring teams, and this lead to a job offer. Okay. So I think, so thank you again. And then as we are concluding the webinar, everyone who codes is here to support software engineering engineers to land jobs faster, and we definitely simplify your job search journey. We can help you stand out in today's competitive market with our expert FAANG mentors like Chetan, who is here, and so that you don't miss out on any interviews and confidently clear that one interview in this tough job market. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.